Most people would say, this is almost cliche at this point, but to call yourself the guide on the side rather than the sage on the stage.
2022 will be interactive, year-round schooling that's engaging, allowing for individualization. We're not exactly embracing the change that already happened.
Public schools, K-12, have a very short window of opportunity here to figure out how to innovate or die.
Two lives are one. Do we want our students to live a digital life outside of school and a non-digital life at school, or do we want to be the generation of educators that teaches them how to blend those two and to do so in a way that's exciting and interesting and safe?
Teachers are part of a continuum, of an ancient profession with a future that will stretch endlessly over the horizon. The future goes on for a long time. All we know is that someone will be there. And they will need to be able to learn within the context of their times.
Probably the biggest impediment to our being able to think about where school is going is that we all went to school. We have a model that's pretty much inviolable in terms of what school ought to look like, and we tend to prepare people for that kind of situation.
I always encourage my teachers, keep your eyes on the prize. Authentic learning for our students so that they become passionate about what it is that they want to be, who they are, and where they might be going in life.
In the past, change came slowly. Life was more predictable. Classrooms were time capsules that rarely surprised us. But we now live with a new reality. Technology is evolving faster than we can understand, and the future promises unfathomable roller coaster innovation with no braking system. Teachers want to be able to dance with change and show their students how to do so as well. The music of the real world dictates it. Challenges and opportunities await them. Data overwhelmment versus abundance of opportunity. 1.8 zettabytes. That's how many pieces of information were supposedly posted on the web last year. We live in a time of abundance, but how do we keep from drowning in it? How do we separate the wheat from the chaff, the hope from the hype, the facts from the spin?
What's invisible seems only there witness. What's invisible seems and we can't witness what it is.
Students should be given the freedom to use the tools that they use all the time. Their iPads, their iPhones, those other sorts of devices.
Fourth R versus text-oriented culture. We live in a time when the real world of work and community is filled with art, design, music, movies, 3D mediascapes, and the new media that await us that we can't even imagine, that are rich in dimension and expression and story. Yet we test through text about facts we will probably never remember.
We are using old world assessments to measure learning, and we're using tools that those assessments don't relate to.
are just at the very beginning of understanding how to assess student-generated media.
Schools versus learning. We used to go to school, but now school comes to us. Schools have become buildings that struggle to contain the learning process during times when we are mobile and immediately immersed in oceans of information that we can summon with a cell phone. So where is school? Is it wherever we are? Is it wherever we can learn?
We haven't addressed the whole idea of mobile learning, because I think you're talking there about a very different conceptualization of how information is packaged and how it's distributed and how it's conceived of in the first place and how it's consumed on the other end.
Individuals versus collaborators. We want students to be strong individuals, capable of crafting a personal vision that can help them define their personal journeys. But we also want them to be participants and team members, capable of collaborating, capable of developing the tools, learning environments, and the future of their communities. And we want this for our teachers as well, so they can help students feel comfortable dancing with the future.
Education right now is completely immersed in social media. Twitter, Facebook, so on and so forth. It's the participatory culture.
We live in a time when we can have whatever we want. The question is, what do we want?
Seamless integration and understanding of our students.
My hope for the future of education and technology in the future of education is that the devices essentially go away. And by that I mean that we're not really worried about what the stuff is, but we're worried about what the stuff does. I would hope that technology in education soon is really more about the way it's used as opposed to how we're going to shoehorn it into our current practices.
We want students unafraid of change, but aware of the value of the past. We want students with core values, but with the flexibility to bend their perceptions to creatively accommodate new situations. We want students who see themselves as community members, in partnership with those around them, as digital citizens capable of critical thought, compassionate interaction, global perspective, and local attention. Above all, we want students who love learning. The attitude has become the aptitude. The more we love learning new things, the smarter we will be in the new mediascape. And the more we will love being here, the more we will love the dance.
It's a really exciting snapshot of time. It's kind of like a time capsule of where we are at this point in time. We can then always have that as a point to look back on that will be a clearly articulated point brought about with the focus on telling the story.
You need one eye on what's going on right now in your business, in your classroom, and one eye down the road. That's how we live now, looking at right in front of us and out into the future.